They said the Pope feared no man, but he feared whispers. Pope Alexander VI didn't pray that morning. He had power. Prayer was for the weak. He controlled the Vatican with bribes, threats, and secrets. Cardinals obeyed. Some vanished. His daughter walked the marble halls. Lucrezia, 16, too perfect. She smiled like she didn't know anything. But everyone looked twice. Her brother followed. Cesare. Not smiling. Not blinking. Watching. He warned off men with a stare. He gave orders no one questioned. People called it loyalty, but others called it something else. She stayed close to her father. Closer to her brother. Guards noticed. Priests stayed silent. Behind the holy walls, things moved that had no name. And then came the pamphlet. Folded. Gutter-printed. Anonymous. Inside, a sketch. 3 faces. 1 bed. Words were weapons in Rome. Sharper than blades. More lasting than scars. It began without names. Just hints. Just murmurs. She doesn't sleep alone. He looks at her too long. No one knew where it started. But it spread fast. Taverns buzzed. Whispers under wine breath. Church pews echoed twisted verses. Priests chose their words carefully. Servants watched, then turned away. Lucrezia entered a room. People stopped talking. They smiled to her face, then whispered behind fans. She heard her name everywhere, but never directly. She asked her maid. The girl lied, then cried. Cesare didn't ask. He acted. He found a printer, cornered him at night, pressed a blade to his neck. Who gave you the drawings? Sforza, the man said. Next morning, his body floated in the Tiber. No tongue, no fingers. The Vatican didn't speak of it, but everyone knew. Alexander sipped wine, called it gossip. They envy us, he said. But Rome smelled blood and ink. More pamphlets appeared, each one more vicious than the last. Sketches of Lucrezia, with her father, with her brother. Phrases twisted from holy prayer. Who art in bed, hallowed be thy name. Children whispered it in alleys. Nobles read it behind curtains. The Pope dismissed it again. Let the dogs bark. But scandal, once released, never obeys. And in the next pamphlet, Lucrezia was naked and smiling. They dressed her like a queen, but she was always a pawn. The wedding was grand, but fake. Lucrezia stood still. Her groom smiled too much. Giovanni Sforza. Older, nervous. He had land. Alexander wanted it, so he got Lucrezia. She wore gold, but her eyes were dull. She didn't speak much. The Pope raised a toast. Cesare watched every man in the room. The wedding night came and passed. No one heard anything. No proof of consummation. Weeks passed. Still nothing. The court started whispering. Was the bride untouched? Or already claimed? Giovanni tried to act like a husband. Cesare stopped him. Every time. One night, Giovanni shouted at him. Cesare smiled. Said nothing. Giovanni packed his things. Fled Rome. He said he was threatened. He said, they don't want me near her. Alexander sent papers. Annulment. Reason. Impotence. Giovanni refused at first. Then Cesare visited him. Alone. The next morning he signed. No protest. No voice. The Vatican claimed victory. The alliance was broken. Lucrezia stayed silent. Always silent. But rumors screamed. Why annul the marriage so fast? Why was she sent to a convent? What had happened behind that door? What hadn't? That night, in her convent bed, her hands trembled around her rosary. Cesare was always close. Too close. He followed her everywhere. Meetings. Mass. Walks. No one questioned it. They were family. But he watched her too closely. Too long. He picked her suitors, then rejected them, one by one. Then came Alfonso, Prince of Aragon. Young. Handsome. He made Lucrezia smile. Cesare didn't like that. At all. They married anyway. Political gain. Southern alliance. Lucrezia seemed happy. For once. But Cesare didn't stop watching. He watched more. Alfonso noticed. He kept his distance. Still, rumors started. Threats. Shadows. Silence. Then Alfonso was attacked. Stabbed in an alley. He survived. Barely. Lucrezia stayed by his side. She begged Cesare for peace. He said nothing. 2 weeks later, Alfonso was dead. Strangled. In bed. No witnesses. No justice. Only silence. Lucrezia wept. Openly. The Pope said nothing. Cesare didn't flinch. People whispered. He did it. Not for politics. For jealousy. Lucrezia stopped speaking to him. She stopped smiling. One night, they met in the chapel. Alone. He said, "I protected you." She looked at him. "You proved them right." And walked away. The wine tasted of cinnamon. And something more. The feast was crowded. Nobles. Cardinals. Ambassadors. Food kept coming. So did the wine. Lucrezia sat beside her father. Cesare leaned behind her. They spoke little. They didn't need to. The guests laughed, drank, ate. Some praised the Pope. Some smiled too wide. Cesare watched every cup, every face. Then the bishop coughed. Twice. Then again. A young lord stood. Stumbled. Fell. Another grabbed his throat. Eyes wide. One by one. Men collapsed. No screams. Just gasps. Lucrezia didn't move. She kept her hands folded. Alexander looked bored. Cesare leaned in. "They should not have crossed us," he said. No one ran. They didn't know yet. But the servants did. They moved fast. Bodies were carried out. Quietly. Music kept playing. Cups stayed full. No accusations. No panic. Only quiet death. By morning, 6 were dead. The city did not sleep. She prayed every morning. But the prayers felt like lies. She left without warning. No farewell. No explanation. The convent took her in. Silence followed her. Lucrezia stayed in her room. Spoke to no one. Whispers followed. Was she hiding? Was she ashamed? Then the rumor started. She was pregnant. No one knew by whom. But everyone guessed. Not Sforza. Not Alfonso. Someone closer. A doctor arrived in secret. No Vatican seal. No escort. He left pale. Said nothing. Next day, Cesare came. Alone. The abbess fainted. Lucrezia didn't. They argued in the garden. Low voices. Tight faces. Later, a nun heard sobbing. But no one checked. Some said she gave birth. Others said it was removed. No proof. Only stories. The Vatican denied everything. But Rome kept talking. And talking. When she returned to court, her eyes held shadows. God's chosen vicar wept in fever and called for his daughter. The Pope collapsed during dinner. Sweating. Shaking. They carried him to bed. Locked the doors. 3 physicians arrived. None agreed on cause. One said poison. One said heat. The third said, too much sin. Alexander moaned. His skin turned gray. He shouted for Lucrezia. She came. She held his hand. He gripped hers too tight. "Forgive me," he said. She whispered, "God might." Cesare arrived later. He didn't kneel. "Who did this?" he asked. No one answered. Lucrezia didn't look at him. She stayed at the bedside. The Pope cried, then cursed, then begged. He spoke names, some real, some not. He asked for wine, then water, then mercy. The room stank of sickness and secrets. By midnight, he went still. His eyes were open. His mouth was not. No bells rang, only silence. By sunrise, Rome was roaring, not with grief, but relief. Without him, they were wolves without a shepherd. Alexander was dead. Cesare was exposed. No pope, no protection. Allies turned. Enemies moved in. Cesare tried to hold power. Failed. He fled Rome, dressed as a merchant, captured in Naples. No fight, no army. He begged no one, but no one came. Prison became his palace. chains his crown. Lucrezia didn't visit. She had moved on. Ferrara welcomed her. A duchess now. She hosted feasts, gave to the poor, wore silks, wore masks. The rumors followed. They always did. Old pamphlets, new versions. Maids gossiped. Guests watched. She heard the same words, different mouths. In church, a priest paused, looked right at her, spoke of a woman bathed in sin. The crowd turned. She looked straight ahead. Later, she walked alone, back to the palace. Didn't speak, didn't cry. That night, she went to chapel. Saturday in the front row. The benches creaked. No one sat near her. She smiled, but her knuckles were white on the prayer bench. They said she lived quietly, but shadows never forget. She aged. Not loudly, not publicly. No scandal, no more deaths. But whispers stayed. Always. She walked gardens alone. A guard followed. At distance, Ferrara respected her. Rome remembered her. She got letters. Some unsigned. Some mocking. One had a drawing. An old one. 3 faces. 1 bed. She burned it. Silently. Cesare died years ago. In Spain, no funeral. No grave with a name. The Vatican changed hands. Popes came. Popes went. But pamphlets still surfaced. Secretly, she hosted fewer feasts, prayed more. She watched her son sleep. He had her eyes. People asked about his father. She never answered. One evening, she poured wine. Alone. No servants. No music. She raised her cup. To the house of Borgia, she said. May its curse die with me. She drank it. Slowly. Then sat still. Hands folded. Eyes open. No tears. She survived, but never escaped. The whispers would outlive them all.